So let's get right to the game review. There are some good, bad, and of course uglies, so let's get to that. Now, the first thing I want to talk about as far as good is we did a great job in stuffing the run this time around, especially versus last time against the Vikings. We held Miami to only 37 rushing yards on 18 carries, 2.1 yards per carry. You look at last game against the Vikes, they had over 5 yards per carry. So well done on that. I know after the first game we had against the Jags, I talked about the strip club. Well, the strip club's back, and we had a couple strips. Here's Jonathan Abram. They called this one back. They said that this was an incomplete, total crap, and that kind of cost us 3 points because Miami ended up getting a field goal on the play. And then, of course, this was absolutely ridiculous. Myles Gaskin turned around, caught the ball, made a couple steps, turned around, and started running 2 steps, got hit. So he had 4 steps, fumbled the ball. Sam Webb made the fumble, got the recovery, was going to go in with his posse for a defensive touchdown, and they blew the whistle dead. We did challenge it and get the ball back, but that should have been a touchdown. That's 10-point differential right there because of 2 crappy calls by the refs. But well done to these guys swarming the ball. A little better job than they did in week 2, to be honest with you. And then I want to talk about Tua Tagovailoa, Tua Latin. Now this guy here, I've been saying it all along. I don't trust Miami. This guy is the main reason. I don't think he can throw the ball downfield. He did not do it. He was out there a couple of series against us. He was 6 of 8 for 58 yards. I know the efficiency's there. A lot of drop down passes from this guy. Skylar Thompson and Bridgewater threw the ball a lot more deeper than he did. And then he's here celebrating a first down. That Bridgewater guy, I believe it's in the second quarter. It's like, yeah, that's probably your best bet. You wear a headset and you be a cheerleader, because this is the year Miami's going to see that this guy's holding them back and they're going to have to move forward at quarterback. Now, as far as the bad goes, there were some tackling inconsistencies while we did strip the ball. I saw a lot of that in the first quarter. We kind of cleaned it up a little bit in the second and third, and then it kind of came back a little bit in the fourth. A little bit inconsistent about wrapping. We need to clean that up a little bit better. And then the running game, while we stopped the run, we didn't really run the ball very well. I know on the stat sheet, we got 144 yards of rushing, but most of that was on the back end with Britton Brown. If you look at our main guy, Zeus was 5 of 8. Kenyon Drake was 3 of 6. That's 8 carries for 14 yards, not even 2 yards per carry. And kind of goes with the ugly that I have, and you probably know what I'm going to talk about, and this is the Holio offensive line. We talked about this before. It was an ugly the first game. It turned to a bad the second game. And look, I was a little concerned before. I'm getting more and more concerned the more and more I see this. Lester Cotton had a bad game, had basically an Olay in the first quarter, caused a sack. And then this guy right here, of course, we got to talk about Alex Leatherwood. Porter Gustin, who is their second string edge rusher, basically had him for dinner. Whether it was a speed rush, whether it was a bull rush, he was all over Leatherwood. And then Leatherwood came back in the second half against the Scrubs. He didn't look a whole lot better, to be honest with you. It's very concerning now. I've always talked about this offensive line, and I'm still wondering why we're continuing to hinge our hopes on this high-powered offense. And this could be all for naught if Derek Carr is on his back.
When you have great coaches, then after you have great coaches, you get great players. You have a great organization, and you tell them one thing: just win, baby.